doing. So, first things first.
Are you
Tell us
recording
about your
yet?
morning. Yeah,
Oh, was that on? Don't show that one.
I promise I won't.
Okay, go ahead.
But
All
they
right.
saw it.
Oh, that's on live.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So, first tell us about your morning.
My
Like,
morning,
what is,
like a
you know, what?
typical day.
Yeah.
Okay. So a typical day is I have two girls, and we recently moved to New York City, and so they walk to school every morning. So every morning I get up, I wake them up, make breakfast, and then I walk them to school, which is really nice because it's like this one-on-one time that I get to have with them that I didn't have. It's different when you're walking versus you're in a car driving because I'm like concentrating on the
Focus.
road and focused, and maybe we have a radio to distract us a bit, or the kids are falling asleep. But when you're walking to school, everybody's awake, everybody's engaged. It's just kind of the two of us or the three of us. And so that's some time that is really valuable for connecting. And I have a tween daughter and a teenage daughter. And so staying connected to them is like really important. And so I walk them to school. It's about a 10-minute walk to school. They live about 10 blocks from their school. And then I come back and then I start work. And I sit down at my desk, or either I go to my remote office. And so 3 days a week, I like to go into a remote office just to get me out of the house.
Yeah.
And then, 2 to 3 days a week, I sit at my desk and do work. And most days I'm on my computer doing things right up until it's time to do pickup. I mean, the day is quite truncated because I got to start getting in motion to prepare a snack, et cetera, around like 2:30 for a 3 o'clock pickup. So
I thought, of course, I love watching you and the girls, and I thought that it was very, you guys seem to be like a team, like a little
unit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Talk about your relationship with the girls, especially at this age they're at right now.
So I think I'm a cool mom.
You are.
A cool mom because I've stayed connected to popular culture. And so I'm not as disconnected as like some parents might be. I pay attention to popular music, styles of dress, and also stay connected to social media apps that they use. TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram. I'm not on them like crazy, but I can navigate. And every day I'll do a few little swipes, and it kind of keeps me connected to the things that they're also connected to. Absent of that, I'd be very disconnected to things that they're talking about, kind of what makes them tick, and like really understanding kind of what they're seeing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to keep a line of communication open and then also be very present. I have the privilege of being able to drop them off at school every day and pick them up when we walk, and then take them around to their activities, because I can truncate my work within a certain part of the day, and then after they're done I can pick up work again at 9 o'clock and work until midnight.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have that flexibility because I work for myself.
Right.
So that is a blessing to be able to work for yourself. And so I'm able to be very present when they need me to be. And so like I really appreciate the opportunity to do that.
You throw the best parties. And your participation with Jack and Jill, and how do you think that all of that helps mold your children in this world we live in?
Yeah. So, you always hear that your children watch what you do, and the behavior that you model really informs their behavior. I am civic, and I lean into civic organizations because it's what I watched my mother do when I was growing up. And so it has just been natural, but my kids are also watching me. So I watch my mom volunteer at church, be the deaconess on the deaconess board, be the one to raise her hand and be a Girl Scout troop leader when no one wanted to do it, participate in PTA. She was always a leader in the community, and she did jobs that other parents didn't want to do. Nobody wants to be a Girl Scout troop leader.
Or
They
PTA
want
mom.
their children to be in Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
but no one really wants to.
They want to drop them
to
off.
take that mantle and say, I'm going to lead this. I'm going to take them camping. I'm going to run meetings, every Friday. in my home. So I watched her do that over the years, and somehow, some way, I morphed into her. And
Yeah.
so I have a very service oriented, I'm a servant leader. I enjoy serving civic organizations, particularly civic organizations where Black children and Black women and Black families are the beneficiaries.
I love that. Now, do me a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Look dead in the camera, look at the girls,
Okay.
and give them a message, like a piece of advice.
A piece of
you
advice.
know, as far
Mm-hmm.
as service and as they watch you do these
Yeah.
things.
So my advice to my girls would be, no matter what happens, always run your own race. Always follow your own dreams. Always follow your own heart. What people think of you has nothing to do with you. Don't be deterred by external factors. Don't be deterred by what someone tells you you are or what you should be. Whatever you think you can do, you can do it. Follow the desires of your heart and just run your own race.
I love it. Just like being service oriented,
Mm-hmm.
our parents also taught us to be very politically minded.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know your outlook on politics, particularly in this day and age. You made it your business to come home to campaign for someone you believed in. I've seen you do fundraisers. I know of you. You were big time in the mayor's race in New York at one time, and so I just love to know about where that comes from and how you feel about it.
Yeah. So both of my parents grew up in the segregated South. My dad in Alabama, my mom in Southwest Georgia. And so they grew up during a time where young people had to be engaged, and they were activists, and they were the people who were on the front lines doing the sit-ins, students doing sit-ins, marching, because their parents needed to work and protect their jobs.
Right.
And so my aunts and uncles, my parents, they were very much part of the movement. So not voting and not participating in the political process for me is not an option, because it is the lived experience of my parents. It is part of the fabric of my childhood, hearing stories from my aunts and uncles sitting at their feet, when all of the grandchildren are gathered, hearing all the stories of them being part of the movement, getting arrested in the movement, etc. So I know if I don't, sometimes in political elections, there may not be someone you 100% love, but I still feel like you have to vote. Just because you don't have a candidate that you can get behind 100%, you still have to pick someone in the race, and you still got to show up and vote. There's no perfect candidate. I admire young politicians such as our mayor when he first put his foot in the ring, his hat in the ring to run for mayor. He was a very young politician, but I appreciate young politicians because they bring the innovation that we need. When we look at where the world is going, we need people leading our cities that can move with that innovation. We need fresh ideas. When we see what's happening with a lot of political campaigns across the country, and some of the newcomers, and there's a young woman who just won in Anniston for mayor. She's in her late 20s. The rank and file public, the critical mass, they want innovation. They want to see different things. So if I were a seasoned politician, I'd be looking at how can I introduce new and fresh ideas to make government run more efficiently and to get things done faster, while incorporating technology, because artificial intelligence is not coming, it's here. So there's a lot that's going to happen over the next year, even 6 months, and things are moving very fast. So if I were a seasoned politician, I'd be on top of it. And as a young, innovative politician, some of the newer people that are coming on board, I think they are right on the cusp of that. They're living it, and I think they can bring some of that to the table. But at the end of the day, I think we can't forget about some of the core things that are still important to society, that we need to look to innovation to help enhance and make more efficient. Affordability. Across the country, housing affordability is one of the top two things that is on every citizen's mind. It's becoming more and more expensive to live wherever you're living. So how do we, in the face of this growing artificial intelligence trend where there are all these predictions that entry-level jobs, the lowest paying jobs within any infrastructure are going to be going away, how are we going to make sure that those folks can find other jobs? And then also that their ability to afford housing is not going to be significantly disrupted. So housing affordability, I think, is important. Healthcare, I still think, is important. Healthcare is still very expensive and not so affordable for everyone. And then I also think like quality of life is important. Crime, the clean streets, cutting grass, all of those things are still important to citizens. Those things are still, those core quality of life things still continue to come up when you receive feedback across every city and every state, in America. Crime, affordable housing, people want to know that they can make a living. They want to know that they can find a job, and they want an environment that feels clean and healthy, without environmental hazards to live in.
You ever thought about running for office?
No, I have. I think I sound like politician. I think I passed my time, but I don't have any aspirations to run for office. But I do have aspirations to be part of the process of delivering affordable housing. And I have aspirations to support candidates that are looking to do those things as well.
Let's talk about, first, you mentioned AI. I'd love for you to go a little deeper because you are versed in it. And then also talk about social media in two ways, and then you can expound if you like. Number one, how do you use it, right?
Okay.
How do you use it effectively?
Yeah.
And then number two, like you seem to look at quality content, not a whole lot of content. So I can tell you're not really focused on social media, but when you do it right. So AI and social media.
Okay. So I'll start with social media.
Okay.
One, social media is, for me, a guilty pleasure. I enjoy looking at a number of things. I look at everything from the blogs to things friends are doing. Two, that's the guilty pleasure stuff. Two, I get a lot of news from social media.
I do too.
A lot of my news, I follow all of the major news outlets. I get financial news, economic news, I get global news, I get local news, I get national news. So it's a great source of news because it's really easy. It's all right here and you're seeing it all at once.
And it's like up to date.
Yeah. and it's great.
It's the greatest.
And then I'd also say I look at it for self-improvement. Because I follow a lot of like inspirational websites that give like strong advice on building businesses or moving on past divorce or raising children. So I love those inspirational because it's like in the midst of all the chaos, you also have intertwined kind of like all of this goodness. I love to hear, there are a lot of websites where they talk about like good news and they talk about like just really interesting things that really help you to continue to believe in the goodness of humanity. So I love doing that as well. And then I post primarily for posterity. I don't post a lot. I don't post to show off, But if I'm posting my vacation, it is again to share with people so that they can see kind of what's possible. To your point, I don't post outfits of the day, which I love seeing people's outfits of the day. I don't see anything wrong with that. But for me, I just like to share like vacation things that I feel are cool and interesting. And a lot of things I don't post. And sometimes I have to remind myself to like get into it. And I have so much content and so many things and so many trips even that I don't post. But sometimes like if I'm in it, I'm either in it or I'm not.
Right.
But I like to post just to share. And I have cousins still in Southwest Georgia, have lots of friends and family. I did not get on an airplane until I was in college.
Really?
So when my parents traveled and we went on family
Road
vacations, we had a
trips.
van and we would drive to the World's Fair and we would go to New Orleans, we would drive to Florida and we would drive, to
Yeah.
Georgia. We primarily stayed in the Southeast, but it wasn't until I went to Hampton
Yeah.
and I flew to school once. That was my first time on a plane. My parents' first time on a plane was they might have been 45, almost 50 years old before they even got on a plane for the first time. So there still are a lot of people who don't travel and haven't yet had the opportunity to. And so it's nice to just be able to share like kind of what the world looks like and what people are doing in the world. And within my small sphere of followers, I know I have a lot of cousins, family members, etc., that is aspirational to them. And a number of my cousins have, said, oh, I'm saving up money because I want to go to this place that I saw on your Instagram, X,
Right.
Y, and Z. So, for me, I like to use it to also share the beauty of the world and also share what's possible. There are a number of things like, that showing me being a mother. People have an optic into what like my life is like a mother. And people have reached out to me about different things and I'm able to
Climbing a
share.
mountain.
Climbing a mountain, like all of the things that if I think it's something interesting,
Yeah.
then I like to share it. Just to share it with people to be either aspirational or be helpful. And sometimes, so many times people come in and ask me questions about things and I forward it along. I don't make money on Instagram. I'm not trying to be an influencer. I've never like been hired to do any of that. And, things have come across my desk and I'm just haven't chosen to do things like that because that's not really what I'm in it for right now. Just really to share.
You want to talk about it?
So I use artificial intelligence routinely, and I have been using it to help me in everything from business to thinking through business ideas to laying out a plan for different things. I mean, it's really incredible what AI can do. I mean, you have some of these chat bots that can give you like just quick answers. If you send them an email, they can rewrite it for you and make it sound and look more professional. But then there are also AI models where they do deep research. So a friend of mine were talking about some of these businesses that we might want to open. One of them was a laundromat. And so we kind of put it in a deep research model. This is the city that we're looking at. Here is what we're thinking, how we could acquire these laundromats. But we're trying to understand, should we try to acquire from an existing owner or should we build new? Can you give us the pros and cons? And then also, this is the neighborhood we want to put this laundromat in. Based on current zoning, can you tell me what blocks we would be able to do that?
Yeah.
And please also search if there are any vacant storefronts on those blocks that you identify or zone correctly that are currently available for lease or sale. And so they analyze it, spit back to me somewhat of a report that compared and contrasted the costs to acquire versus the costs to build new, buy brand new washing machines. It told me if you build new, it's better to lease the washing machines and dryers versus buying them, and also add a wash and fold because that helps offset your costs. But then you're going to need employees to run the wash and fold, and this is a skill set that employees need. And these are some banks that finance laundromats, and these are the blocks within the city that are zoned.
That's
And
awesome.
here's a list of the available properties and the asking price and the rental asking price. You have everything you need. Now, that would have taken me 3 weeks to do all that research.
Right.
With a deep research model, 8 minutes. So then I'm able to look at this and say, do I want to do a laundromat? Do I actually want to do a laundromat? Or yes, I need to do a laundromat. And let me just call these. Oh, it also gave me the realtor's name and phone number. Right there. 8 minutes. So my point is, seasoned entrepreneurs, seasoned professionals, everybody should be understanding how they can use artificial intelligence to make their businesses more efficient, help them make more sound decisions in business, how to leverage opportunities that they have, how to leverage their resources. The information is there. And even if you don't act on it in the way that AI suggests, you still have the information and you're making a more intelligent decision.
I love it. That's awesome. Now, back to the jobs.
Yep.
You know, like that's replacing a lot of jobs, but the opportunities are just endless. I mean,
I feel like, given where we are and where we're going with AI, if you have a traditional corporate job, there are just a lot of unknowns right now. All corporations at the highest levels are trying to figure out how do they cut costs, implement and integrate artificial intelligence. Because if they don't, their competing company is going to do it and they're going to be saving money. Everybody's going to participate in this cost-cutting measure, this efficiency experiment through artificial intelligence. There will be bumps in the road, but if I were a corporate professional still, I'd also be running a parallel program in my household with my partner and looking for, we should have an entrepreneurial bet in the marketplace as well. So even if we have our day jobs, I just think it's wise, because the day jobs may or may not be here next year, 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I would start looking for opportunities that for now, at least for the next 10 years, everybody should be gaming out their retirement plans. And like, if I've got 10 years before I'm going to retire, what can I do from an entrepreneurial standpoint that allows me to run kind of a parallel program? There are a lot of boomers who are aging out of their HVAC business, their pressure washing company, etc. You know, is that something that's going to be replaced by AI in the short term? No. But there will be some AI implications to those businesses. Maybe it's going to be payroll, billing.
Right.
Maybe you're going to make that boomer's business more efficient,
right,
and run better using artificial intelligence, but you're still going to need boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Out going to houses, diagnosing a plumbing issue, an HVAC issue, an electrical issue. So I would run a parallel program. Yeah. I would have an entrepreneurial bet in the marketplace that could potentially sustain me in the event that, you know, I'm no longer able to continue in my corporate role.
Okay, so let's talk about this remodel.
Okay.
Girl, I saw the pictures and was like, you know, I'm a man. I'm like, that is too much. But the colors,
yeah.
Like, I would love to know, you know, what it was like doing it.
Yep.
The photo shoot.
Yes.
What's it like living in it? I mean, and then it's just so beautiful. It's like, where did the thoughts come from, the creative process? Like, talk about it a little bit.
So, this was an opportunity because it was just me and my 2 daughters moving into this home. So it was an opportunity. I didn't have to ask. It was an opportunity to do basically what I wanted to do.
Right.
I didn't have to ask permission from anybody. I certainly consulted my daughters on their 2 rooms, but everything else was a blank canvas, and it was all about what I wanted, which was really unique because, like, when you're partnered or you're married, You have to
You tone it
consider
down.
someone else's
Yeah.
opinion. So this was 100% all me. So I found a place and it was good, but there were some things that I needed to do. And so I hired a black designer, Corey Damon Jenkins, and it was very important to me that I hired a black designer. I'm one of those people where I believe in leaning into the black economy every single opportunity I get. So if I have an opportunity to hire black, I do. And so it was like, no, it was not an option to not hire a black designer. And so he said to me, there are some things that we can do in this home, but, me talking to you, me seeing your style, I think that in a couple of years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, you're going to want to do exactly what you want to do, because you're telling me, let's do this, but eventually I'm going to do that.
So why
He
not
was
go
like,
on and do that?
let's try to figure out what doing what you want would look like and see if it fits into your budget. So I was blessed in that I was able to do some ambassador deals on some products and some things in the house, which either gave me some things in kind or at a discount. And so that really helped me be able to do the house at a much higher level than my budget would have really allowed. So that was like a huge blessing. And that's nothing but God. God's favor is undefeated. And when you live right and you treat people right, things happen for you. And that has been somewhat the story of my life. God's favor has always been on my life, and I appreciate that. And I'm very grateful for it. So I had some opportunity that just kind of fell into place that I wasn't anticipating, which allowed me to be able to do some of the things that I was able to do. And without those opportunities, I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I was able to do. So that house is all God. So we set out, we did a full gut renovation. And we picked out every single thing. We chose the colors of the walls. And I've always
So you gutted it.
We gutted it.
Gotcha.
There's nothing there. We removed walls. We closed off walls. I turned one bedroom into a closet. There's nothing there that was pre-existing. The kitchen, we ripped every single thing out. Every pipe out, every faucet out, nothing.
Gotcha.
So after we did all of that, we then went to the design phase. And I've always been a person who had dreamed of this wallpaper, hand-painted wallpaper. I like color, I like texture, I like maximalism, I have a bold personality, I like bold. And so we decided to just do it. And
I thought that was painted. I didn't know it was wallpaper. I literally thought it was.
It's painted wallpaper.
So it was hand painted. It was just hand painted
So
on
what
the
they
paper.
do, yes. So
Gotcha.
what is done is they put the wallpaper, like each piece of wallpaper is a panel. And so like a wall like that one over there would have 3 panels, okay? Each panel, they start off with what they call your ground. In my bedroom, I have a metallic rose gold ground. In the living room, I have a tan ground. In my dining room, I have a metallic ground. And in my foyer, which is the most exquisite wallpaper in the apartment, is silk. So they start with this silk ground, green silk, blank slate, and then they draw the branches, they draw the birds, they draw the flowers, and there's one person within a design house, kind of like a wallpaper atelier, who specializes in birds. 1 or 2 people, like they're bird people. They're people who all they draw for wallpaper, they're flower people. And their
so
life's work is to draw
layered.
flowers.
Yeah.
Somebody else is drawing leaves. Somebody else is drawing landscapes. And so on one panel, you might have 5 people working on it, because you got your bird girl, you got your flower guy, you got your branch person, and they draw it, then they paint it. One panel. And then they paint it from top to bottom, and then they move on to the second panel. until they have enough panels for the room. Now, this hand painted wallpaper, a foyer, I think it took either 9 or 10 months
Wow.
for it to be done.
Yeah.
In that room where we have the silk wallpaper, they also, this one company is called DeGournay, they embroider the wallpaper. After they paint it, then they look at it and they say, okay, we're going to embroider a certain percentage of it. And so the flowers are embroidered with metallic thread. So they put it on a loom after they paint it and they embroider it. So then when they bring it to your house,
it jumps.
it's silk,
Yeah.
it's hand painted, and it's embroidered. It's
Beautiful.
like wallpaper of your dreams. The good news is it's a family heirloom. You can take it off the walls and I can bequeath it to my children, my grandchildren.
What?
And so obviously my children may not have a foyer that will be that exact
But
dimension.
those are art pieces.
But they take it off the wall and they can make it into a frame. And maybe they have 3 frames.
Yeah.
And then that becomes, they put those 3 frames on the wall. But all of the wallpaper in my house one day will come down.
And be artwork.
Should they ever move and become artwork, but it'll probably end up being 30 pieces of artwork.
Yeah.
That then can be spread across the family.
Yeah.
That will be in the family forever. So it's an investment in generations to come. I mean, people have wallpaper from the 1800s.
I never knew that.
Mm-hmm.
I never knew that.
So once you've invested in that wallpaper, you're not necessarily buying art. So I have art on my walls, and I only have black artists on my walls, but a lot of my walls, I just have wallpaper. I don't have art. And I can eventually I'll probably put some.
The paper is the art.
The paper is the art.
Yeah.
And you design it. So I'll say, I want 2 peacocks here to represent my daughters, and then I want a mama peacock here to represent me. So you lay out your design, and then they send it into production. I mean, it really is art. And then, it's art that I design. So it's special. And so I really got into the wallpaper situation. I don't have that kind of wallpaper in every single room, but I did it in my bathroom, my dining room, my foyer, my guest bathroom, and my living room. It's all hand painted wallpaper.
One of these days, I'm going to actually get the magazine so I can read, but I just love looking at the pictures.
Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Okay. So, what does the future hold for you?
Well, I've been living in New York City for about a year now. And I formerly was living in New Jersey, right across the bridge from New York City. So this is my first time actually living in the city.
Okay.
So I've been in the city a year now, and I'm loving it. Just primarily because it makes life really convenient for my daughters with school. Also, all of my friends live in New York City. So I have a renewed social life in New York City. I am dating someone seriously, so that's exciting too.
Okay.
And it's just been great. Like, New York City is just like, I think it's like the greatest city on earth. And so it's a privilege, and I'm grateful to have the opportunity to live there. Can't wait for you to come. Welcome you. I'll make you a nice Alabama meal. I can cook very well. And so I love having people over and cooking for them.
Yeah.
So love to have you over. And then I also started a real estate development company about a year ago that's focused on affordable housing. I have a strategic partner who has been doing affordable housing for 20 years. So we formed a joint venture, and I'm doing that business with him. So that's going well. We, have won a couple of projects, and we have a nice runway ahead of us. And we're focusing on projects in the Southeast primarily. And I'm just trying to live my best life.
Yeah.
I want to be healthy. I want to be happy. I want to do well in business and continue to do well with my community. So I really have a heart for education and Black kids having opportunities that maybe our generation didn't have, my parents' generation didn't have. I believe Black folks deserve a seat at every table. And so everything that we can do to ensure that our kids are well educated and, feel empowered to follow their dreams and be all they can be and do whatever they want to do, like that I'm really passionate about, leaning into children, particularly Black children.
A lot of people our age don't have the opportunity to recreate themselves, or don't feel that they can, or whatever the case may be. And I think you're such an inspiration in the fact that um, you're living well, you're parenting well, you're doing all the things. And how I'm just curious, how does all of that
How's
come
all that
together?
happen?
Well, no, how does it all come together? Um, what does that look like? Like, we know you're working, we know, but when the kids go to school, have you thought that far out? Really, what's in the future? I'm saying, like,
Yes. So, one, life for me has been no crystal stair. I have incredible parents that laid a great foundation for me and made sure that I was able to get a solid education and gave me a great start in life. But I come from, parents with the school of thought, like, once we put you through college, you got it from here. I can't go back and depend on my parents. If something happens, they're gonna step up and pay my mortgage. I don't have those type of parents. They
right.
did what they were supposed to do, and that was the deal we made. And so I plan to continue to honor that deal. I have had a job since I was 14 years old. My first job was at Hardee's on Highway 78. And then I was 14 years old. I would go to Hardee's. I was working the drive-through. And then I decided that, and I got to know some of the other people in the area, and I realized that Arby's next door was paying more money. So I left Hardee's when I was 15.
Yeah.
And went over to Arby's.
It made $1 more.
But probably made about $1 more. Okay. And so, which was about an extra $50 a week, which mattered.
Big time at our age.
Exactly, because I wanted some Guess jeans.
Yes, yes, to wear with your Marquette sweater.
Exactly. So, and then ultimately, I ended up getting hired at a department store, and then I started working in fashion. And so that was my first opportunity to like really see what fashion was all about. And so I feel like I kind of learned some style early on in life from my work.
You were always stylish
in the department store, starting when I was like 16.
Yeah.
So I've always worked for everything and had to earn everything that I have. And always had, corporate jobs over the years. One of the things through life's peaks and valleys, divorce and, other things, emotional resiliency. If you're a person and you're sitting at your station in life and you don't believe that you can, you're having trouble getting past one of these valleys, and you're like trying to get up the hill, but you're not getting there. You're having trouble believing in yourself. You feel unsure of yourself. There's this thing called emotional resiliency, or ER. People with high ER feel like challenges are not insurmountable. And it's a skill. So when friends come to me and they feel like dejected, they're a little depressed, when you start talking to folks, they don't have high ER. Right. Some people have high ER, some people have low ER. ER is so important with navigating the challenges of life because they're going to come. Nobody's life is going to be like smooth. So what I encourage people to do is, if you find yourself in one of those things, it's not just about going to get medication for depression or taking a Xanax to calm yourself down. Try to do some work around emotional resiliency. How can I raise my ER score? because they're ER scores. Like, it's a score. Get books. You don't need to pay for a therapist. Maybe you do. But if you can't afford a therapist, you may not need to pay for a therapist. Look for resources around ER. Ask ChatGPT, hey, I have low emotional resiliency. When things happen in my life, I tend to give up. I'm having trouble powering through some of life's challenges. I want to increase my emotional resiliency. This is my personality. What are some things that you think I can do? Look for books and resources on it, because it's like emotional resiliency puts you in a mindset where you think you can. And that's half the battle. Sometimes people don't go out and start businesses for fear of failure. It's not necessarily because they don't have the resources. They tell themselves they don't have the resources. They're not even trying to figure out how I can get the resources and what programs are available to put myself in a position, and what do I have within my armamentarium of resources that could help get me to financing a laundromat. Maybe I need to go get a partner for the first laundromat who does have the resources. I'm going to do all the work. We're going to go in 50-50. And then my second laundromat, when I make money from the first one, I'm going to fund that. Maybe that's your strategy. You don't always need resources. Go find someone who has resources and tell them, I'm going to be your partner. I'm going to do all the work, but I need you to put me in the game financially. And then maybe the second, third, fourth, fifth business, you go at it alone. There are ways to get to the promised land, whatever your promised land is. So I was blessed with high emotional resiliency. There is nothing life can throw at me. I'm not going to say nothing, because like a health situation, but like outside of a health situation, I feel like there's nothing that I wouldn't make a strong run at trying to power myself out of. But everybody doesn't have that skill set. But I think building that, in addition to kind of working your strategy and program, is kind of like a recipe for success if you find yourself in a situation where like you're struggling with powering through something, powering out of something, powering into something.
Got any parting shout outs, ma'am?
Shout out to my parents who are, Birmingham folks who paved the way and are still living healthy lives. So I was just like,
The picture you posted, I sent to my dad.
you did?
Yeah.
Yes, to Mr. and Mrs.
Our fathers
Jones.
know each other very well. Our parents, but our fathers
Yes.
go way back. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
So just, shout out to my parents.
yeah.
And then also shout out to Mayor Randall Woodfin for his leadership thus far in the city and his strength. He had to deal with, a lot, and he remained steadfast and committed to his convictions and his goals. So just like shout out to our leaders, because it's, it's servant leadership. It is, people don't sign up to be mayor for the money and Mayor Randall Woodfin has always been in leadership, and he has always had a heart for leadership. This didn't just start. So I always like to thank our leaders, our city leaders, our civic organization leaders, because sometimes it can be a thankless job. Even if you're getting paid, sometimes it's a thankless job, and you hear a lot of complaints, and it's not balanced. It's not balanced with what you're doing well and the good things that you're doing. So I just want to say, I appreciate the work that Mayor Woodfin is doing and all of the good things and the progress that he has brought to the city.